Hello, this is Photography Gamer. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing Void Bastards for the PS4. The game is also available for the Nintendo Switch, Xbox One and Microsoft Windows. Void Bastards is a sci-fi first-person shooter roguelike developed by Blue Manchu. The game sees you assume control over a never-ending supply of convicts as you do the bidding of your stranded vessel's AI. Basically, you have to find fuel, food and other special resources. The levels are procedurally generated and there's also a permadeath system, but more on that later. So what is the game like to play? Well, after the initial intro where the AI breaks down your immediate task, it's off into space to find a vessel to board. Before departure you can choose your loadout including guns, projectile weapons and traps, but only once you've crafted them. The first few ships you visit are pretty barren, but soon enough you'll encounter hostile inhabitants and end up dead. But don't worry, death is inevitable in Void Bastards. To progress towards the endgame you need to find the special resources on alien craft, then craft special items that will allow you to gain better guns, more advanced gear and increase supplies on your next life. So you navigate the nebula map, find a ship to visit, board and explore. There are power generators that need to be turned on, you can switch off the security, loot food and fuel and get into skirmishes with all sorts of weird and wonderful beings. But you've got to watch your oxygen and health, as if either of those run out it's back to the start again. And you've also got to worry about radiation poisoning to consider later on. Items you collect can be recycled and reused on the workbench, and once you've accumulated enough credits you can visit a supermarket in space to buy more ammo, health, food or fuel. Now the game uses a procedural system to create the spacecraft. It's not the most varied, as I noticed a vast amount of repetition and very similar craft. But the variety of enemies, security bots and various parameters on each landing are different enough to keep things feeling varied. It's a very repetitive loop. Board a vessel, seek out the resources, have a bit of combat, then get the hell out of there before you die. Combat in general is a little bit hit and miss with limited amounts of firearms, but this is made up for with the mines, bombs and other items used to distract enemies. On your first few lives you will run out of ammo a lot, but in time you'll have a fully stocked arsenal at your disposal for longer runs into the nebula. The enemy AI is not great though, with most enemies just attacking you on sight and not having much spatial awareness or tactical nous. Finally, there's the permadeath system, which normally ruins games, but in this case, it absolutely works fine. You see, when you die, you assume control of the next prisoner in line. Each prisoner has slightly different traits, but thankfully you retain all your accumulated technology you've crafted from day one. So no backtracking to recover items, no losing everything, and no major time loss on your playthrough. This is how permadeath should be, a system that complements the game rather than turn it into a grindfest. So well done to the developers on that front. Visually, the game adopts a graphic novel approach throughout and has a colourful cel-shaded style. Think Borderlands but set in space. The enemies look fine, but they're a little bit wooden and their movements feel more like a cardboard cutout being moved around than an actual living thing. The menus are well optimised, easy to read, very clear, very crisp, so well done on that. Sound-wise the game is pretty good on the whole, with only a few minor issues. The AI voiceover is humorous and well voice acted, the music is decent and the sound effects are pretty well suited. The only minor annoyance was some of the alien voices, which are very annoying. They basically sound like two drunk guys locked in a cupboard with a microphone. Okay, what's good and what's bad? What's good? It's easy to pick up and play for a short and entertaining session. The art style is very nice, it's got an addictive and satisfying gameplay loop, the procedural ships and permadeath system are both well implemented, and it's a game that will grow on you over time. What's bad? There isn't any multiplayer or co-op mode, the levels do feel a little bit too recycled, some of the voice acting is a cringe fest, and it can get repetitive if you play it for long sessions. Okay, what is the verdict? Void Bastards is a very playable first-person adventure game with a satisfying gameplay loop, a good progression system and a decent sense of humour. It's full of good ideas, although sometimes the execution is a little bit off. But on the whole, it's a very enjoyable, satisfying and quirky game that uses procedural levels and permadeath in the right way, accentuating the experience rather than ruining it. At first I wasn't convinced, but after a couple of weeks of play I can say it's definitely good fun, worth a try, and a very interesting indie experience. So my score for Void Bastards is 8 out of 10. Okay, that was the review. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. This is Photography Gamer signing off. Thank you.